Howdy readers, I'm Jason. This is Chapter and Verse, and this was supposed to be my Jacob's Ladder video for my You Carry a Coffin Today project. I was going to film that video on my lunch break today, and then I was going to edit it this evening and upload it. But when I got home from my lunch break today, I thought I was just going to be able to wing the video because I've seen the film so many times. But I sat down with my notebook and I started taking notes, and before I knew it, my lunch break was over. So I will film that video tomorrow on my lunch break, and I will cut it tomorrow night at some point. I'm not sure when. Kelly and I are going to be doing cozy reading night tomorrow night. So we'll see if the editing happens tomorrow night. But that video will be up here sometime in the next couple of days. So in lieu of that, I thought I would jump on the Halloween bandwagon and do the Halloween this and that tag. I have watched numerous of these. I don't think I've been tagged. If I have been, I'm sorry. I'm not mentioning you. The original was from Tia at Tia and All the Books. I will link to her channel below. And it's just a really simple series of questions, this or that questions, Halloween themed. And since it's Halloween night, I thought I would go ahead and do this, since I'm not going to have my Jacob's Ladder video ready for you guys just yet. Number 1, Dracula or Frankenstein? And that's easy. I've read both books, and I love Dracula, and I loathe Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the best idea for a novel of all time, maybe. And but here's the thing, right? So it was written by a teenage girl, and it reads like it was written by a teenage girl. The prose is so clunky, which is a shame because it's a brilliant freaking idea. Number 2, Skellington or Sanderson? So from watching videos, I have come to understand that Sanderson has to do with some witches in the film Hocus Pocus, I think. Although some people have been actually taking that to mean Brandon Sanderson, who finished Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. I have not read Robert Jordan or Brandon Sanderson, and I have not seen Hocus Pocus. So I'm going to go with Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I think Kelly is watching upstairs this very moment. Number 3, Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers? So it's interesting. So both of these characters kind of were in the forefront of the public imagination when I was growing up. And I really liked the Nightmare on Elm Street movies with Freddy Krueger. But when I was in college, I took a horror film class, and it was the dead of winter. And we watched Halloween in that class, which is the film that features Michael Myers. And I had never seen Halloween before, and it scared the shit out of me. And when I was walking home from class that night, right, so in Halloween, there's a scene where, I don't know if it's Jamie Lee Curtis or who it is, but there's a character who's on a sidewalk, and she's walking down a sidewalk, and there's a hedge that runs along the sidewalk. And it's, 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall. And at the end of the hedge, Michael Myers appears from around the hedge at the end of the sidewalk. And then he disappears behind the hedge. And the character is walking and walking the length of the hedge. And as they approach the end of the hedge, I mean, we as the audience are just, shitting ourselves with fear. And there's nobody there behind the hedge. So the night we watched Halloween in class, I walked home, and it was the dead of winter, like I said. And sure enough, there was a sidewalk I was on, and there was a 5 or 6 foot tall hedge running alongside it that I couldn't see over, and I couldn't see beyond as far as what was in the yard next to it. And it was absolutely terrifying. And I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking. And not right at the end of the hedge, but in the yard that was right there at the end of the hedge, there was a snowman waiting for me. And that snowman, I'm not even joking, that snowman just about made my heart stop. So I'm going to go with Michael Myers, even though I love the third Freddy Krueger movie, especially because of the Dokken song that was in it, Dream Warriors, which is such a great song. If I remember, I will link to the video for Dream Warriors in the description box below. Number 4, vampires or werewolves? Vampires. Even though werewolves scare me, one of my earliest horror film memories is of An American Werewolf in London. It was horrifying, that film. But vampires really scare me. They don't scare me because they're supposed to. They just scare me because they do, if that makes any sense. And I feel like it's in part because 70% of me feels like vampires might actually be a real thing. So I guess I've just outed myself as a believer in vampires. Number 5, zombies or ghosts. I'm not terribly frightened by the idea of zombies, but ghosts I do actually believe in. And I know many people don't, chief among them Steve Donahue. But if you have never read Deborah Blum's book, Ghost Hunters, you should. And if by the end of that you don't believe in ghosts, I don't know, I'll buy you a latte. How's that? Let's see. Number 6, witches or fairies? I don't know. I'm not terribly frightened of the idea of witches per se, although I am fascinated by the historical context, I suppose, around witches, or the idea of witchery, Salem and what have you. But even stretching further back than that, there was a great documentary called The Burning Times. I think it was directed by a woman named Donna Read. Not that Donna Read, but a different one. And I've seen that many times. That's a wonderful, wonderful film. But fairies have always had kind of a special place in my heart, and I don't find them terribly frightening. They're more mischievous than anything, but so I'm going to go with fairies. 7, superheroes or supervillains. I am so burned out on superhero films that I can't possibly answer this question. 8, pirates or princesses. That would have to be pirates. If only because the idea of princess has become so tied up with Disney that it just makes me nauseous, and I don't understand the appeal of the whole Disney princess phenomenon. So pirates, definitely. Number 9, candy corn or caramels. Candy corn is loathsome. Kelly loves it. I don't know why. She doesn't like tomatoes, but she loves candy corn. It's weird. Caramels, I love caramels, but when salted caramel became a thing, maybe 10 years ago, I think whoever first had that idea should be given a medal of some kind, or maybe $1,000 gift card to Barnes & Noble, because that was genius. And I realized that adding salt to caramels kind of turns caramel into heroin. But I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Number 10, popcorn balls or candy apples. I really liked popcorn balls when I was a kid, like when my mom made them. But a coworker of mine bought me one recently, and I don't know, I had like half of it, and it was, I don't know, that was just not a great popcorn ball. It was kind of stale and whatnot. So while I like popcorn balls, candy apples, particularly a Granny Smith apple with fresh caramel on it, just really can't be beat. So number 11, apple cider or pumpkin spice latte. Hard apple cider, definitely, yes please. And but I also really love pumpkin spice lattes. I know a lot of people disparage them, but I really look forward to this time of year because that's the only time I can get them, and I think they're really, really yummy. Number 12, hayride or haunted house. I've been on one hayride in my life. I have barely any memory of it at all. I certainly don't want to live in a haunted house, but seeing as I believe in ghosts, I think haunted houses are a real thing. So as far as the holiday goes, in the spirit of the holiday, I'm going to choose haunted house. And the last question, number 13, costume party or spooky Netflix binge. I've never really been one for costume parties. I'm not sure I've ever actually been to a costume party. I have dressed up as a child and as an adult, but spooky Netflix binge, if I can determine what the films are, if I could have a marathon of horror films, say with, The Witch and Let the Right One In and The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, which was the first movie that ever actually gave me nightmares, I could go for that. So I'm going to choose spooky Netflix binge. Since it's Halloween, I'm not going to tag anybody. It'll be interesting to see if numerous of these tags appear tonight. I will be back soon with a cozy reading night vlog with Kelly and with my video on Jacob's Ladder for my You Carry a Coffin Today project. Hope you guys are doing well. The cold snap has broken here, barely, but it has broken. And I will see you guys again very soon. Adios.